Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Watch World, and today we are going to be looking at another two watches from Pagani Design. So guys, I hope you are all keeping well and safe. Before we start today's video, quick wristwatch check. Today I am wearing the Era Prometheus. Still love this watch, think it looks absolutely great. So a while back I did a review on this Pagani Design two-tone chronograph, which is a homage to the Rolex Daytona. But I was surprised at how good this Pagani Design actually was, especially for the sub $100 price tag. So I delved a bit more into the company's catalogue, and these two watches really stood out to me. This here is a Pagani Design GMT with a Pepsi bezel, and this one here is a gold Bluesy. Now again, these are obviously homages to the Rolex Pepsi and the Bluesy Submariner. Both of these watches in front of me are priced at under $100, and again I think for what you are getting with this watch, you are getting a very good deal indeed. So let's start with the Pepsi GMT. This is the Pagani Design PD1662. This watch comes on an oyster style bracelet with a brushed outer links and polished center links. The clasp is one of the things I like the most about this watch. It is again inspired by the Rolex clasp, but this one here on the Pagani feels strong and takes a good bit of force to open, showing that it is indeed tough. This piece can also be purchased on a Jubilee style bracelet if you so desire. The watch has a display case back. This means we get a look at the movement in action. This Pagani Design uses a DG5833 GMT movement. This is a Mingzhu movement, which is quite difficult to find information on. When I was looking for it, I couldn't really find a whole pile about it. But it seems alright to me so far. This watch has been in my possession for a couple of weeks and it is keeping excellent time. Over here on the side, the watch has a screw down crown, which aids in this watch having a 100 meter water resistance rating. When we screw the crown out, we will find that the watch has three settings. The first setting just lets us wind the watch up. If we pull it out to the second setting, we can adjust the date and the GMT hand. And then the third setting adjusts the time. When the crown is pulled out, we can see that the second hand is stopped, meaning that the watch also has a hacking feature, which is good if you need to synchronize with another time source. If we look at the dial, we see the watch has four hands. This fourth hand here is the GMT hand, and it works off of this 24-hour bezel. So the fact that the bezel is 24 hours, and of course the dial is 12 hours, means that the GMT hand will move 1 hour for every 2 hours that the regular hand moves. Although I think you are getting a great watch for the price, you're getting an automatic movement, display caseback, 100 meters of water resistance, 316L stainless steel and a GMT function, there are two criticisms I do have of this watch. The first is the bezel. I don't know if it was my bad luck or if all the models are like this, but the bezel does not feel strong at all. It feels really loose when you turn it and kind of stuttery. There is also quite a bit of play when you move it back, so the bezel lets the watch down, if truth be told. The other criticism I have is the date cyclops. Like with most homage watches, they just can't seem to get the date window right. To me, it doesn't look centered, and it looks like it's a little too zoomed in also. I think with Rolex, it magnifies it 2.5 times. This to me looks like more than 2.5 times of magnification. But other than these two criticisms, I think this is a great watch, and if you're looking for a Pepsi GMT but aren't able to afford a Rolex, I think this is the best way to go. Now we move on to the gold Bluesy. This is the Pagani Design PD1661, this time a homage to the Rolex Submariner Bluesy in all gold. This watch has an all gold case and a blue dial and bezel. Obviously this is not real gold, just gold plated stainless steel, meaning it will wear and fade over time the more you wear it. This is my preferred watch of the two. Usually I'm not a massive gold fan, but I think this colour works really well with the blue dial and bezel. So the specs of this watch are very similar to the Pepsi GMT. You are getting an oyster style bracelet with polished centre links and brushed side links. We have the same type clasp, which like the GMT feels very strong and safe. Display case back again, but this time the movement is different. Because there is no GMT complication, this watch uses Seiko's NH35 movement. This is a classic movement which beats at 21,600 beats per hour and has a power reserve of 41 hours, so you are getting a very reliable movement when you buy this watch. This watch also has 100 meters of water resistance and has a screw down crown. Same as the GMT really, the first setting winds the watch, the second adjusts the quick set date, and the third adjusts the time. This movement also has a hacking feature as well. So this dial just has the 3 hands, but it also has a gorgeous blue sunburst that really glimmers when it is in natural sunlight. The bezel feels a lot stronger on this watch than it does on the GMT. Much smoother and much less resistance when you try and turn it in the wrong direction, which is great if you use the bezel a lot for timing different things. The hands and the markers on the watch have gold outlines, which really go well with the blue dial. I think if you're looking for something a little bit flash in the $100 price range, again, this is the best way to go. Now, on the Pagani Design website, it lists both of these watches as 40 millimeters, but if we use our calipers here, it's closer to around 41.5 according to my digital calipers. So let's look at the Pepsi bezel in terms of thickness. This watch measures around 13.5, and then lug to lug measures about 47.5 millimeters, just a smidgen over 47.5. Let's see how that compares to the Bluesy. The Bluesy in terms of thickness comes in at around 12.5, and then lug to lug it is 47.5 there and thereabouts also. So very similar dimensions on these watches, a little bit bigger than I think it suggests on the website. I don't know why that is. Maybe it was a mess up in production, maybe, I honestly have no idea why they said 40 millimeters when it doesn't really come in at 40 millimeters. It doesn't even look like 40 millimeters, to be honest. Even when you just look at the watches yourself, it doesn't look like it's a 40 millimeter watch at all. It looks bigger, and the reading on the digital calipers will back that up. So guys, that is it. A look at the Pagani Design Pepsi GMT and the Pagani Design Gold Bluesy. I hope you enjoyed looking at these watches with me, guys. If you did, please do hit that subscribe button. It really would help the channel out a lot. Thanks for watching, everyone, and until next time, take care.